Hey class. So today we will be going over stairs. So we're going to be populating a lot more of the interior of the museum. We're going to be creating a second level. We're going to be creating two sets of stairs, each one custom in its own kind of unique way. And then we'll be setting up, going through a little bit more of the procedural documentation set up in Revit. So to begin, let's create our second level. So we should have our level 2 already created and populated in our floor plans. So let's go there. And we don't need this map anymore, so we can delete this. Let's go to the top, unpin it, and delete. Alright, and then this is our second level side. So let's go to architecture, floor, and let's change the floor. And I'm going to change this to a 6-inch slab. And then we're going to actually change that later on. All right, just create a simple rectangle, nothing crazy. We'll edit that a little bit more later on. And then, oh, sorry. I was wondering why I couldn't see it, and it's because for some reason it was negative 18 feet below level 2. So change that to 0 over in the properties, check. There we go, now it's populating. So we're going to work off of an image today. This is an image, obviously conceptual, of the interior of the museum. It has a really nice, beautiful staircase going up, following the side that has the glazing changing from wall to ceiling, as well as you can see in the background that it's a pretty thick floor. And so that's what we're going to do first. We're going to change this floor from 6 inches to maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So we're going to go into the edit type under properties and duplicate the floor slab. Change it to 1 foot 6-inch concrete slab. Press OK. And then go in, change the thickness to 1 foot 6. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to change some of the material. I'm going to change the foreground pattern from sand just to none, and just have a nice white material. Really, unless it's a specific like brick pattern or paver pattern or something like that, typically you don't want to have that on your drawings, and you really only want to highlight that material when you cut through it. That's why you have the concrete pattern under your cut pattern. So white, press OK. Press OK again. All right, and so now if we go to 3D view, and we do that same shortcut where we right-click on the painting box, orient to a view, floor plans, do level 2. And that automatically generate at level 2. I'm going to take the bottom of the section box, drag it down. So that looks pretty close to the image. Probably a little bit thicker. You can actually change this name. I think I've mentioned this before, but it's a little hard unless you have a specific, like, this is how it's going to be constructed dimension. If you're in flux conceptually, it's always good to just have a general name. So instead of 1 foot 6, just call it a level 2, 4, whatever. Press OK. Alright, yeah, that seems a little bit closer. So now what we want to do is we want to create the, actually first, let's create a stair here. So in the museum and in any building of a significant commercial size, you need two means of egress. So if you're on a second level or an elevated level, that means you're going to need two sets of staircases to get people from that elevated level down to the ground floor and outside of the building. And so we have this second elevated floor, and so we'll need a staircase on one side of it and a staircase on the other. The one staircase will be this one, which we'll get into, but the second one will be over here, and I'm going to make it a little bit more traditional, but still have some custom elements in it. So if we go back to level 2 and we edit the boundary of our newly created floor, we're going to take that far edge. We're just going to pull it back from the edge of the building, edge of the glass, and hit OK. We'll do some interesting. Let's just do the stair first. So to do the stair, it's under our architecture tab under stair. I think we've probably created it before, but click that. And then under the stair tab, under the properties, there's several different types of stair that you can do. Steel pan stair, or an assembled stair, a cast in place stair, or a precast stair. The cast in place and the precast, those are pretty much the same. Those are monolithic stairs that are cast or cast either before it gets on site or on site. And then an assembled stair is one that's pre-manufactured out of steel and concrete, which is your traditional one that you'll find in most buildings. And that's the one that we'll use now. And the reason that we'll use that is because it's much easier to create custom stairs out of them. So if we hit that steel pane stair, we're going to edit type. We're going to duplicate that pane stair, and we're going to call this Kistefos stair 1. All right. So under the stair properties, there's a couple different options. You can calculate the maximum riser height if you wanted to make it larger, let's say, than the code required 7 inches, which I would not say to do. Also, you can change the minimum tread depth. And one thing with Revit that's really nice is you'll basically set the bottom and the top level, and it's going to calculate the required amount of risers or the required amount of steps necessary to get from the base level to the top level while not going over that maximum riser height. So a lot of times, if you don't have a elevation change that is divisible by 7 inches, it'll be 6 and change. But that's one nice thing about Revit is that it calculates that stuff for you automatically. And then run type. So run type is going to give you, and you probably did not see that. Tread run type is this 2-inch tread, and instead of having a drop down, it has this dash dash dash, which will take you to another page, and that's where you can change the tread and the riser material. I'm going to change the tread material to the same concrete cast in place gray that is the floor. I want that to be the same material, and then the riser material, I don't know, maybe I don't want the riser to be anything, maybe I just want it to be open. So let's change this to 0, yeah. Let's change that riser to 0, and then the tread thickness, 2 inches, that's okay. Nose length 1, that's fine. Alright, press OK. And then stringers. So stringers are your outside supports. That's what holds the stair together. Since I don't have any risers, and I kind of want to have these be floating steps, I'm going to take the support. I'm going to do none on the right and none on the left, and I'm just going to have a middle support. That's okay. That carriage 2-inch width. I'm going to change the material of that to steel. Any steel will do. Stainless is fine. And then yep, that all looks fine. Alright, press OK. And then up at the top, before you start drawing, you want to change that run width or the width of the stairs to whatever you want. So let's just do 10 feet. Have a nice big stair. And let's have it be asymmetrical. Oop. And of course, before you start drawing, you'll actually want to determine your bottom and top level. So the bottom level will be, I think it's 1A, and then the top will be level 2. And actually, I'm going to check this section real quick because I believe we changed, yeah, the height of the floor is above our level by 2 feet. And this level is 1A. Okay. So if we go back to level 2, my bottom level is 1A. We want it to start 2 feet above the level since that's where our floor is. And then level 2, it'll be where level 2 is. And let's just start drawing. And so when you start drawing the stairs, you'll see at the bottom, and I can't point to it of course, but at the bottom, it'll say the amount of risers created and then the amount remaining. That's how many risers are remaining to get from that base level to that top level. So we have 11, 12 risers created, 12 remaining, and click and drag if you select run. I'll review that real quick. Hit run, it'll do this automatically, but if you accidentally click off, all you have to do is click run again, click, and then to create a landing in between, click off and then click out somewhere in space. And I'm trying to think of an interesting way to do this. I'll just need some more space. Just click off at an angle. That's good. And so that automatically creates a landing for you that connects the two ends of the runs. Remember, when you're doing this by code, I think it's an elevation change of, or no, it's 15 risers or more. You're going to need a landing. So make sure that you are aware of that before you just create one straight set of stairs, because people need a rest between steps. All right, so before we go in, we're going to look at this in 3D, and I can already tell that this is backwards. And the reason is because it's going to have a number 1 at the base level, and it's going to have the final count number at the top. So right now, this stair is starting at the bottom here and ending here. Of course, we want to reverse that, so if we go up to the top and hit flip, it reverses it, so now it starts at the bottom at here and ends at the top over here. Hit check. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to have to back this up a little bit to give us a little bit more room. So let's bring this over. I'm going to go in 3D. I want to check out, see what that looks like with the middle support, no risers. Yes, perfect. Look at that. Kind of looks like floating stairs. I kind of want to go in and make those stairs a little bit thinner. And I also, so tread thickness 1 inch, and you don't really need a nosing, but let's just do a 1/4 inch nosing. That's the little lip at the stair, so that you don't catch your foot when you're stepping. If you look at any stair, it's not a vertical, immediately 90-degree stair, but it's always angled a little bit so you can have a place for your toe to step. It's ergonomics. All right, that's okay. Okay. I do like that. Back in edit. Do no. There you go. Real simple floating stair. Of course, in reality, you need a lot of structure. A lot of code now requires that riser, even if it is just glass. Let's go in edit. Just do. Oh yeah, that just lets that back in a little bit. All right. And then one thing I want to do is change the railing. So we have glass bottom, but it doesn't fill in the ends. It doesn't resolve the middle like it does for the horizontal pipes. So yeah, the problem with this is that it's essentially creating this glass panel as a baluster, so it's reading it as this vertical element, and so when it doesn't compute the same distance that it is built around, it just doesn't create it. And so what we're going to do is, instead of creating it as a baluster or a post element, we're going to create it as a rail element. And so that it's a continuous element all the way to no matter where or how we create this profile, create this railing. So first, what we're going to do, we're going to go into the glass panel. We're going to edit the type. We're going to duplicate and call it a Kistefos glass railing. All right, and then what we'll do, keep it at 3 feet. Top rail will change. Miter joint's fine. So profile will change to a really sleek one. We'll just create a square handrail. That's fine. 1 inch. Material, stainless steel. Yes. Okay. We're gonna rename it 1 inch square. Sweet. Now, then press OK. That's going to change this top rail, like as you see, from that weird bulky round one to this nice clean one. And then let's see. So this is where we'll change. Oh, sorry. This is where we'll change the panel. So right now it's treating this glass panel as a baluster or a post, and it's alternating with this 2 inch by 1/2 inch, which is those vertical pickets right there, and the glass panel. So what we'll do is we'll delete this. We'll keep that one baluster for right now. Hit OK. And what we have to do is go into the rail, and we'll have to add. So we'll have one other rail. Be that square handrail. Let's do the. You need to create a separate profile. That's fine. So we'll keep that 1 inch handrail to kind of divide that surface. And then the second one, we have to create a custom profile for the glass panel. It doesn't have one yet. And so we'll OK out of here. Keep those changes, as you can see. Creates that one. So let's go into a file, new, family, and we're going to create a new profile. So scroll down to profile and go to rail. So we have a custom profile for the rails. Press OK. Then you have the rail center line and the top of the rail. So we'll go in, create a line, just create a rectangle, pretty simple. Do a couple quick dimensions. We're not creating parametrically, we're just using as base. So we know our height of our railing is 3 feet. Realistically, it needs to be 40 inches, to be 88. And then we'll have, let's do a 3/4 inch thick glass panel, so that the top has a little bit of a reveal at that 1 inch square baluster. So we'll do 3/8 of an inch from the center line on either side. Turn this down a little bit so people can see it a little bit easier. There you go. Alright, 3/8 on either side from the center line. Let's save this as glass panel, or Kistefos glass panel. And then let's load this back into our project. Go to our 3D view or whatever view you were using to create that. Go back to our railing, edit type, and then go to our rail structure. And then let's change this one. So this top, that rail one, will set the top height at 3 feet, since that's how tall our glass panel is, and then we'll change the profile from square handrail to the Kistefos glass panel. We'll change that material as well to glass, and we'll change the material of the square handrail to stainless steel. It's okay. It's okay. See how that looks. Looks pretty good. It's kind of cutting through the stair. So let's edit type. Let's go back into the rail structure. Let's offset that 4 inches. Let's offset this. Since it's a square handrail, actually it'd be 3.5 since it's from the center line. It's okay. And we want it to do the opposite. So we'll do the negatives. Go back, edit type, edit rail structure, negative and negative. Alright. It's a little bit more realistic. We're gonna have to change the baluster as well. Let's do every 6 feet. Distance from previous, so this is saying how far each of these are spaced. Let's change it to that 1 inch square. Should we do it? 3/4 inch square. Let's do that. Really sleek and slim. Same on the ends. Let's do the 2 by 1/2 inch. It's okay. And then the one thing we still need to do, these are hanging off right now. So what we can do, let's bring this in a little bit more. So let's only offset the rails. Let's only offset that -1 inch. And negative, looks like 0. Let's see what that looks like. 0 inches for the square and -1 for the glass. That looks better. Let's do -1.5 inch. Actually, let's just do -2. -1 inch. And then we need to change that for the rest of these as well. So go down. What is an offset for this guy? Oh, baluster offset. Ha! 2 inches. Here, -2 inches, excuse me. It's -1. It'd still be touching. Alright, and then I promise this is the last thing we'll do. So create a nice custom sleek stair. Of course, you can continue to edit that as much as you want. I kind of want to change these balusters to 3/4 inch square. I think they were, of course. Okay. All right. And then, of course, all we have to do on the other side is drop down and change it to that glass railing, and it is cleaned. All right. And so now we'll have to edit this floor real quick so that it actually meets the top of the stairs. So we'll double click or edit profile on the stair or on the floor. Bring that edge back, and then one thing I want to do, come on up, let's bring this one edge over a little bit, and then I want to just add a little bit of curvature into the profile. Yeah. Of course, still keeping lines. Yeah, I like that better. Opens up. For trim extend up at the top, or TR, the shortcut. Alright. Opens up a little bit more. And then one thing I will also do is add a little bit of curvature back into the stair. And to do that, we go into Edit Stair, and then if we click on one of the set of risers, we can actually convert it to a sketch-based riser system. So if we hit that, just hit the convert at the top, and then it'll bring up this Edit Sketch. Do that, and then it'll allow you to manually manipulate the stairs. And so you have a boundary, a riser, and a stair path drawing line. Make sure that you are aware of which one you have selected before you start drawing. So we're going to change the boundary of this to be a little bit more curvature and meet the curvature of wall. So we'll delete the old boundary, and then we'll trim extend. We'll hit this, and then you can either go through and manually do all of these at once, or manually do them one at a time, or you can click and drag and highlight all the elements to do multiples at one time. Alright, so hit check. See that landing automatically updated. What we'll do is we will edit profile, well, convert, and then edit the profile of this landing. All we'll do is use the fillet arc tool, drawing tool, to add a little bit of curvature and soften up these edges a little bit to respond to the curvature of the building. We'll just do that real quick. And then we'll convert this one. We'll have a little bit more fun with it. So you can not only So not only can you manipulate the boundary of the stair, but you can also manipulate the the shape of the treads. And so what you can do is, if we trim extend these guys, I'm trying to extend these guys to that line. Oops. What you can do is you actually take the riser line and drag it, kind of even these out a little bit. You can be a lot more specific than this. I'm just kind of freehanding it. You can create custom geometry. Actually, let's check. Okay, and the okay, and jump. Why does it hate me? This always happens. I'm not trying to too complex of geometry. Let's undo a couple of these. Let's do this one at a time. Sometimes to diagnose something, you just got to go one step at a time. So let's extend these all out to that curvature and check. All right, so that works. Let's go back in, edit the sketch. Let's add the curvature on the other side. And trim extend. That's where it gets screwed up. All right. Let's try this. Let's try adding the curvature only at the bottom half. Trim extend those two together. Just drag this over. See, that works. And as you can see, the boundary of the stair can go past the riser, and actually the riser can go past the stair. I just like to have them kind of matched up. All right, so let's bring this back a little bit further. Let's just have it be straight for one riser, so it stays connected to the landing. Then let's bring this out to where we originally had it. And then let's start bringing those risers out. Actually, let me do that. Let's bring that one riser out. That looks there we go. That's a little better. Trim extend all of these guys. Okay. Now let's start to go in and change these risers. Make it a little more dynamic. Move with the curvature. Of course, you can also move this side as well. It's rough, but it's close. Let's hit the check mark and hit create. Let's go in. Alright. I've created some custom profile stairs. It's getting cut off right now because of our section box. Bring the section box up a little bit. And then one thing that I want to do real quick is because we cut back the floor, this edge of the floor is going to need a railing so people don't fall off. So what you can do, go in to architecture, under circulation, go railing, hit our Kistefos glass railing, and then go up, just hit the pick lines tab. Just pick the one edge, and you can only do one continuous railing at a time. So I couldn't do both edges. I'd have to do one at a time. So hit that one first, and then hit the other railing. Same thing. And then right now it's not matching up. Flip it. So this is determining the direction of the railing. That's going to determine when we did the railing offset, negative or versus positive. And it also determines which direction. So right now we want these two to line up. We can also kind of offset this line back. Let's try 1/2 inch first to get these to line up. It looks like it'll have to be 1 inch. Offset 1 inch. Looks to be good, so we'll have to do that to the other side. Gonna flip the direction of the railing and then go in, edit path, offset 1.5 inches. So that is aligned with the stair. Into our 3D view, looks pretty decent. Okay, so it doesn't look fantastic. I definitely wouldn't keep it as a design, but for what we were reviewing, looks pretty good. Railing looks pretty clean, and the stairs are nice and delicate. Although, of course, looks like it's missing its middle stringer now. Of course, the more complicated you get with the stairs, the less elements of the stair are going to act the way you want them to. You might lose some stuff, but that gives a pretty good overview of your basic stair elements and how to edit them. Now we will go and create this crazy custom thing. We'll be using the same elements that we did before, with a little bit of a twist. Hopefully, makes a little bit more sense. So we'll want our stair to start over here, where it is in the picture, and go up here, meet the second floor. We'll edit the profile of the second floor to meet that stair on the top. So in the picture, it looks like you got probably a 12-foot wide plus this kind of cool radius. So we'll do a 12-foot stair. Let's go to 1B, which is this level over here. Pick a starting spot, doesn't really matter where. And of course, in the conceptual plan, there is no landing, ADA landing, which is tisk for them, but I'm sure they're qualifying it as a non-ADA stair. Actually, I think it's required by code, so it must have really nice lax code requirements in Kistefos. So we're going to have just continuous stair, and it looks like they're pretty deep treads. So we'll play around with the tread depth to match the slope of the twists. So what we'll do is we'll go in, hit another stair, and instead of stair 1, we're going to go in, edit type, duplicate, create a stair 2. Keep all these the same, and then in the run type, let's duplicate this. Let's call this custom stair, whatever, custom stair, that's fine. Riser and tread are going to be the same material as they are in the image, and it looks like they don't even have any those in profile, so let's 0 for the nosing length. Tread thickness, 1 inch is fine. Riser thickness will have the same as tread thickness. Actually, they're going to be pretty delicate. Basically, we want it. We're going to be going back to almost nothing back here. So let's do a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, press OK. And then supports will have none. Watch it have no supports in the middle either. Oops, cancel. Let's uncheck that. Alright, that's good. Press OK. Alright, and then we'll go up one width 12 feet. Let's start there. I'm just going to draw the whole thing out. Hit enter. So let's go to our 3D view and go to the side view. Let's delete these railings for right now. And let's take our section box and slice it down so that we cut through the top of the lower half roof. So you can see in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we have this stair. Go and edit stair. What we can do is we can change the where did that go? Where did that go? Oops. Oh, sorry. Screwed something up. A couple things. Let's delete this. Let's go back, hit run, and remember our floor is actually 2 feet above our level, so we have to change it from a 0 offset to a 2 foot offset. And then let's go in, let's draw that again, and before we hit enter, over here you see how actual tread depth is still allowed to be edited. Let's go in, let's go to the right hand view. Let's try and get it so it matches these slopes. So let's drag the bottom corner over so that it's pretty close. And then let's change the actual tread depth. It looks like you have to click off the stair to be able to edit it. So click off the stair and then go over here. Let's do 1'4". That's pretty close. Hang around. That's pretty close. Alright, 1'4". Looks like it's all the way over. Let's drag it over. Do a lot of guesstimating at the moment. I'm going to get it to the right. Alright, so got it pretty close. In reality, they probably would build up the wall a little bit further so that it covers the edge of that. And it looks like that's what they did in the model. Sure, looks like they made it a little bit shallower. Actually rotated it. Let's just try and hide this behind. That's pretty close. Actually, I have to rotate a little bit to rotate this 5 degrees just to get it over that structure. I'm probably worrying way too much about this. Alright, well, that's pretty good. Let's just rotate this back 5 degrees. Just look, it's pretty close. Change that width to 1.6. Let's see. Get a pretty shallow. No, that's about right. Alright. So, what we're going to do is we're going to manipulate this floor, or this stair, excuse me, so that the treads, they go out and they're going to have a custom profile that matches the outside edge of this guy right here, and then also going to bring the edge of this guy around and have them wrap and kind of tuck underneath just like they do in the concept image. So we're going to go in, we're going to convert this guy to a sketch edit, or editable by sketch. And going, and you can do this from both the top view, 3D view, whatever you want. And we're just going to mimic the profile of this guy. It looks like it comes down and then down here, following that bottom structural beam. Follow with my mouse. So we'll go here. Oh, looks like we can actually mimic the structure, which is cool. So we'll trim extend these pieces together. And then delete this boundary line. So trim and extend the bottom and top riser. And then we will use these to extend. Sorry, try that again. Trim extend. Select the boundary. Select all this. Go. That's pretty close. Let's check this guy out. So it's cutting into the side over here, which, I mean, is okay. It's not coming through the other side, which is fine. Of course, in reality, they have to figure that out, but what we're doing, it's alright. And then we'll go back in and edit the sketch one more time. And what we're going to do is we're essentially going to take this boundary line, and instead of running vertically in this orientation, parallel with or perpendicular with the risers, we're going to actually rotate it. We'll rotate it back. Oops. Just kidding. I'm not going to rotate it because it's tied with all the other risers. Cancel. Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to delete it. We're going to go in and create a new boundary. We're going to run it parallel with the top riser. Alright. And then, let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, I'll show you real quick what we're going to do. Make sure you have riser up at the top selected, and then head that line, and we're going to drag one down. What we're going to do is we're going to connect this riser to a vertical element. We're going to do that with all of these. So I'm going to count these up. Looks like there's 22 treads. So minus this one, we're going to need 21 lines. So I'm going to copy up at the top, this over. one times. And then I'm going to use a dimension tool to just dimension out between all of these so I can have an equidistant distance between all of them. Right. Looks like it extended out to the right a little bit, so let's just bring this back. I'm just using my left arrow key to just shift them over until it looks about right. And then what we can do is we're just going to trim extend each corresponding line with the other corresponding horizontal line with the corresponding vertical line. Counted wrong. Oops. Oh well. Let's delete that extra. And let's shift this over again so it's equally spaced. Alright. And before we go any further, let's just click this real quick, make sure it is correct. And it has flipped on us for some reason. Let's go up to the top and flip this back around. There we go. Look at that. We'll probably want to. Let's look at this guy. So this is pretty flat. So it looks like we'll want to bring this out a little bit. Wanting attention. Go lay down. I like these guys and just move them over. It's actually, I might be a little bit shoot. Let's try rotating these a little bit so they're a little bit more parallel with the hallway. That's kind of cool. Nice. Alright, so let's use that. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to match this curvature. So we're going to use this curvature as a baseline, make that big sweeping arc across the front, and then as we go up, that arc will get smaller and smaller. So what we'll use is we'll just go up to the fillet arc, make sure that your riser is selected, otherwise it'll create a green boundary line. So we want riser, fillet arc. It's going to go to each one and just make what feels right for each. Just do that for each corresponding step. Of course, you can skip ahead if you like. too small, too quick. Alright, to make this a more even radius, and I apologize, probably won't edit that out, I should try to. To make this more even radius all the way up, I'm going to use the control line. It'll just be a boundary line, and then I'm just going to erase it at the end, just so that when I'm doing these filler arcs, and making sure that the riser is selected, not the boundary. The end of the radius is always constantly close to that edge. So basically I'm using this line to make sure that that end of the arc is as close to that line as possible. Alright, just keep going. Oops. Hope everyone's doing alright during this coronavirus. Everybody staying healthy. Alright, almost done. Cool. Alright, so I can delete that reference line now. Hit yes. And, oh, look at that. I mean, that's pretty dang close compared to where we were. Alright, so now what we need is a railing. And of course, they've just floated one in the middle of space, so that's what we'll do. And that's a pretty easy one to create, so let's hit check. And then let's go and hit railing. Let's edit, duplicate this one, and instead of glass railing, let's just have floating rail. And essentially for this, we'll have no balusters. So do a drop down, hit none. Then the same thing down at the bottom with the start and corner posts. Just do none. And then for the rail, we will get rid of our glass, and we will have one handrail at 3 feet above. And then we'll be all set, and then let's do a circular handrail, 1.5 inches, pretty standard. Let's not use a top rail. Of course, we could use the top rail as the handrail if we wanted. That's okay, and then let's go in and draw this. Let's put this at level 2. Where does it come around? Yeah, it comes around here, comes down, and then swoops around here. Kind of like that. Let's hit check. We can't see it because it's above the railing, but let's while it's selected, let's pick new host. That's pretty close. And this one goes all the way down. Honestly, that's pretty good. That's good enough. Let's bring the structure up a little bit. I guess let's keep that down for right now. Let's create the other one, the one on the other side here. It'll be pretty simple, just straight railing from here to here. Actually, let's make it a little bit curved to follow. I don't like that. Oh, change it to level 2, and let's pick new host. So that's the one really cool thing and nice thing about the stair itself, the stair element in Revit. You could obviously create this kind of custom geometry with a generic model or conceptual mesh or whatever. But the nice thing about doing it out of a stair is that you can set a railing to it as a host, and it will match the slope and match the desired height above the railing. And it looks like maybe I'll just move this up a little bit. I just want to check something. Alright, that's fine. So now what we'll do is we'll actually connect the level 2 floor with this newly created stair. And if we just go, make sure the floor is highlighted, edit boundary. Let's just make some cool sweeps. Line, top edge of the stair, try to extend, complete new guy. Ugh, I really don't like that geometry of the stair, but whatever. This one turned out pretty good though, I think. And we will take this, we can actually edit the path of this railing. We could have probably done it on this guy too. Edit path and just extend the railing down. Oops. Gotta make sure that we try to extend this guy. So we need to change the pull. Alright, cool. Alright, so the last thing we'll do, we're a little bit over there right now, so the last thing we will do is create some callouts for these stairs. I'll show you an area plan. So we're going to create a new stair sheet. So we have 4, which is not right anymore. This is just, let's call it an overview. Alright, and then what we'll do is we will create a new floor plan. We'll create a new sheet, excuse me. View, sheet. One by 17 blank. Okay, alright. Alright, so I'm going to drag over level 2. Show you a couple tips. So right now, it's hiding this half of the drawing because, well, that half is covered by roof. But we can do one of two things, and I'll show you both. What we can do is either change the view range, so go to Edit View Range under Properties, and actually have it cut like 6 inches. Whoops. Oh, yeah, 6 inches above the floor, so that it cuts through and shows you both the bottom floor and the top floor. Or if you undo, you can go up here to Plane Views under the View tab, go to Plane Region, and then draw a scope box around where you want to see. And then over here, you're essentially creating a mini view in your drawing that has a different view range than the remainder of the drawing. So actually, I'll create it a little bit smaller so you can kind of get visually see what I'm saying. So if we go to Edit View Range, and we go from 0 feet, let's actually go to, let's go to level 1. Okay, and hit yes. So everything within this box that's within this plane region is now going to be set at that view range. It'll change based on where we are. Okay, and we can set this to be whatever view we want, or at whatever level we want. So we can actually move it up and be above the building, etc. But since we can change it so that at 6 inches above level 2, cuts through all of it. Nice, neat. All right. Let's get rid of. Let's go none. Let's get rid of the elevations. Oops, annotation. Annotations. Let's also get rid of the section. Okay, so this is going to be our stair sheet. And one thing I want to review with you guys is what's called callouts. So callouts are a little bit different than floor plans and sections, where they crop a view, and it's where you can start to detail different parts of the building. So we have this overall plan view. If we wanted to call out this this stair, oh sorry, it's under the View tab, Call Out, and we can drag this guy over, and then if we go into the view, now we have a larger plan. And what we can do right now, it's called level 2 call out. We can call this stair level 2. Does that have to be in all caps? Now let's rename this sheet stairs. And what we can do is we can go in and we can drag that stair level 2 in here. And now we have a larger plan of that stair that we can then go in. We can detail it if we want. We can edit it. We can go in, create a section in there. Oh, and in this view template, which is because it carries over the view properties of the previous drawing that you took the call out from. So let's go to sections, like that. We can hide this one. And we can go and we could change the thicknesses of the stair, or we could go in and 2D draft the structure, whatnot. Let's call this stair section. Back to stairs. And just like we did before, we can align it since these two drawings are the same size. Let's actually drop these down to 3/16 so they fit on the sheet a little bit better. Okay. And just finish adjusting. Let's come over and check this 2D. Drag it a little bit. Hide this one completely. And we can hide the lower roof that never came into play. Just drag this over a little bit. It's not interfering with anything, and we can hide the higher roof as well. Now we can just drag the view range up. Oh, for some reason, change this. Check. Oh, yeah, unblock. Tab. Okay. Alright, and then if we go in, we can change some of the graphic styles so it's a little bit more three-dimensional. Turn the ambient shadows on, cast shadows. Let's go to lighting, turn down the shadows. Some more overpowering. Work it together in their shadows. Alright, it's kind of good. Let's see what it looks like with shaded on. Ooh. A little dark. Oh, that's okay. Alright. So we have that. Why can you not see the section in there? I think I've covered this a little bit. So with sections and elevations, they have a hide at scales coarser than. Right now it's at 1/4 inch, and we just made this 3/16 so we can't see it. So let's change this down to 1 = 400, just so that it shows up in every drawing. All right, and I don't know if this has ambient shadows. It is cool. All right, so there's that one. And now let's do one for this guy. Let's do the call out again. Let's call it 1. Image stair. 2. Could be level 2. Stair 2. size. Actually, let's create a. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I've done this before. Creating a view template from an already created view. So right now we have this set up. It's pretty good. We like where it is. So what we can do is instead of going in, edit, and creating a new view template in here, what you can do is go double click into the view. Under the view tab, go to view templates and create a template from the current view. And just name it stair. And then go in, hit OK. I don't know why it never does that. Never, but you go in, do that. And then you can go into another view, hit stair, press OK. Now it shrinks it down to the same scale. And then we can take a section. Now this one's going to be a little bit more tricky since it is an angled stair. Let's just do one all the way across. Range. Section 2. Red. Same thing, we can hide these. I can keep the higher roof since you can actually see it in this one. Pretty simple. Alright. Alright. So those are the two basic ones. We can actually align these so that they're at the same elevation. Turn these crop regions off. And actually do the same thing here. Let's create view, create, double click in, create template from current view, stair section, and then stair section. Same thing for this section, stair section. Alright, so now what we'll do is, and I'm just going to get these lines since I have OCD about all of this stuff. And a lot of the people that you will be working for will as well, so just be aware of that. Alright, so now I'm just going to do two more things. I'm going to create two perspectives, one for this stair, one for this stair. So for this stair, I'm going to go in to the level 2. And I'm going to go into level 1B because I want the camera to be at the second level. And I'm going to just click the camera and go all the way past the far end. And then I'm going to angle. And this is obviously whatever you're comfortable with. Move it over a little bit. And then change these so that they're the same. Stretch this out a little bit. And then I'm going to change this to the architectural presentation 3D, which I think we've done before. I'm going to turn down the shadows, yeah, to 15, a little bit lighter. I'm going to go to the 3D views, change this to stair 1, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to my site plan, and my other stair is over here, and I'm going to take an image from the outside showing the entirety of the stair. And It's a little close. So I'm going to right click on the view, show camera, back it up a little bit. And then the one thing I'm going to do is, since it's from the exterior, I'm going to go into the visibility graphics. Oh, first I'm going to turn it to architectural presentation 3D. And then I'm also going to go in and change the work sets and turn on the site work set so that you can see the topography around it. All right, and then this will be, like, rename it as Stair 2. Alright, and drag this one in, Stair 1, Stair 2. Alright, and obviously we don't need titles for these, so we can just click both, no title, and then they are different sizes. They're at different aspect ratios, so what we'll want to do, let's take a dimension from the sheet. And this is about 1'3". It's a good size to fill that middle void up. So we'll double click into the 3D view and we'll click that outside boundary, that crop view. And at the top, hit size crop and then change the field of view to scale. We'll turn that width from whatever it was to 1'3". That's okay. And now it's at the right width. Do that same thing for the other. Make sure to change this down here to scale, 1'3". Now they're the same size. A little big. Down to 1'2". All right. So now we have both those created, and this will be what you'll be turning in for your submission. Next week, if I can get it working, we will be just doing a brief review of Insight 360, as well as reviewing the final project, which is a test, as well as the bonus credit. The bonus credit will be taking the Kistefos Museum and creating your own custom wall panel, whether that be a structural element or a facade element, something like that. Creating a cool, interesting, custom, pattern-based family that is parametric in some respect, and submitting that. And I'll have that all done. I'll be creating both of those this weekend. I'll be setting a time for when your final is. It'll be relatively easy as long as you follow it along. You should be able to answer the questions. It'll be through Canvas. There's a quiz portion or quiz component for Canvas that we can utilize. And I will have it just be kind of open on a day that works for everybody. I hope everyone is staying healthy and everyone's doing well. If you have any questions, as usual, email me. If you still have problems, we can always set up a call. All right. Have a great weekend or rest of the week.